welcome to our podcast. Today we're discussing CEFR, the move from skills to modes of communication, and how reception work in language learning. I'll be guiding the conversation while Alexa and Rafael share their reflections. Let's start with the basics. What exactly is CEFR, and why does it matter for us as language teachers? Alexa, would you like to begin?
Yes, the CFR states of Common European Framework of Reference for Languages. Is an international standard that describes language proficiency across 6 levels, A1 to C2. It is important in our profession because it provides a shared language for assessing skills, setting learning goals, and designing skills. And designing curriculum. It helps teachers plan lessons that are realistic for learners' levels and ensures that language learning outcomes are comparable across contexts.
Thanks, Alexa. That was very clearly. Rafael, what's your perspective?
Well, CFR stands for Common European Framework of Reference for Language. That is correct, as Alexa said. And it's important to level our teaching methods and strategies for listeners and learners, just to adapt for their necessities and for what capacities they have.
Great. So we can see that the CFR not only standardizes levels but also help us adapt to students' needs and teaching goals. Now, moving on the second question. What do you think about the shift from calling them skills to talking about modes of communication, especially listening and reading as reception?
Well, I think that this shift is very positive by focusing on reception rather than isolated skills. We acknowledge that understanding language is not just mechanical but also interactive, as reception highlights the role of the learner's background knowledge, context, and active mental processes in making meaning. This holistic approaches better reflects how communication really works.
And you, Rafael?
My personal opinion is that most are way better than just calling them skills, and personally, as Alexa said, the approach is better to how communication really works. Yeah.
Interesting. Alexa highlights how reception is interactive, while Rafael points out feels more complete than just skills. And I agree, it makes teaching more connected to real communication. Next, let's talk about the mental side of reception. Were you aware of the cognitive process involved, and how do they help or block comprehension?
Well, I was partly aware, but in this unit, it deepened my understanding because reception involves decoding, predicting, inferring, and connecting new input with existing knowledge. When these processes work well, comprehension flows naturally, and when they break down, it's because of the lack of vocabulary, cultural references, or distractions. Understanding becomes difficult, but knowing this helps me plan my activities that strengthen those processes.
Okay, what about you, Rafael?
A little bit, I was informed, and I am informed actually. And as Alexa said, yes, the reception involves decoding and connecting. Those inputs and those knowledge are relevant, important in comprehension and vocabulary, and also make us way more easily to talk or comprehend new knowledge or making a new schedule or lesson planning.
Thanks both. It sounds like we are all becoming more aware the reception is active. Alexa went deeper into the process, and Rafael, you mentioned being aware but now getting more insight. That's exactly what this unit tried to show us. Let's move to context. How have you used context in your teaching? Alexa?
Well, I try to use context very often, like, for example, previewing a text, discussing the topic, or showing images before listening. However, I now realize I can be more intentional in guiding students to use contextual clues actively rather than passively. This unit made me more aware that context is not just an aid, but a key element in meaning and making.
Rafael?
Content it's pretty effective if you ask me, and I have used it to clear more topics and doubts with learners or students. Also, I was aware about the issues of this unit that we have already discussed, but I didn't have the knowledge to resolve or to prevent those common issues nowadays.
Okay, excellent point, guys. Context seems to make comprehension smoother for students, but also, as Alexa mentioned, it's something we can use more intentionally, not just as quick aid. What about background knowledge? How do you help students activate it? And were you fully aware of its importance before? Alexa?
Well, I usually activate background knowledge through warm-up discussions, brainstorming, or asking guiding questions before reading or listening. I was aware that it helped motivation and interest, but now I see how crucial it is for comprehension itself. Activating prior knowledge reduces cognitive load and allows students to make better inferences.
Rafael?
By giving them a little refresh on their actual knowledge, maybe give them a little brainstorming or a little mind map, it could help a little to start a class and also keep talking about some topics or facts just to have a little prior knowledge or prior knowledge to be ready or to get their attention ready on the whole class.
Okay. So both of you use warm-ups, but now you see it's more than just motivation, it's a part of comprehension itself. That's a great takeaway. Finally, how has this unit changed your understanding of reception? And do you plan to make new decisions for your lesson plans? Alexa?
Well, I would say that it helped me to have a further understanding of what reception is, and also about pre, while, and post activities, which I would like to improve. I would like to add in my next lesson plans. I also want to include more of these activities that build context, encourage prediction, and allow reflection, not just for comprehension checks, but also for students to practice reception more deeply and develop strategies that they can transfer beyond the classroom.
Rafael?
Yes, this unit has changed a lot of my way of perception and thinking, mostly because of how and what is the reception principally, and also about the pre, during, and post classes, and for example, warm-ups, maybe activities, or maybe just concepts. I've changed out a lot of my planning schedules or lesson schedules or planning. And also the way of teaching has changed a lot since I have learned.
Okay, thank you both. It's clear this unit has made us more reflective as future teachers, and we now understand reception as an active process that requires context, background knowledge, and strategic lesson planning. That's all for today's episode. Thank you, Alexa and Rafael, for sharing their reflections, and thank you to all listeners for joining us. See you next podcast.